this plant is on a mission for self-destruction. I forgot how difficult this plant is. Did I get something extra? Like, that would be amazing. Oh, there is another plant, you guys. Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. Today I have a repotting session with my rare variegated baby plants. I unboxed all of these plants in one of my videos about a month ago. So now it's time to repot them. I want to give you some updates. I want to share with you how I repot them, what substrates I use for my house plants, and also I bought a couple of more rare plants that I'm really excited about, and I want to share this with you in today's video. So there's gonna be a mini unboxing by the end as well. So, to make it quick and efficient, I think I'm gonna go plant by plant, and as I repot them, I'm gonna share more info about them. So, let's begin, and let's maybe start with the two strings, string of pearls and string of hearts. Okay, so here they are, variegated string of hearts, Sarpigia woodii, and variegated string of pearls, Senecio rowleyanus. Back in the day, I used to have a large cacti and succulent collection, like back in the day when I was a kid. I did not know much about them, but I really enjoy growing them, and they grew really well for me. So I bought a couple of plants that I used to grow, but also a couple that are new to me. And one of the plants that are new to me is this string of hearts. I've never grown it before, and I'm so positively surprised because this is such an easygoing, low-maintenance plant, and it grows really rapidly. Like all of this that you see here, all of this is a new fresh growth that this plant put on in the past couple of weeks. So really happy with this plant. It really doesn't require much, and it grows really healthy, really rapidly. String of pearls, on the other hand, is giving me a hard time, and I forgot how difficult this plant is and how hard it is to make it happy. So already from day one it started to go wrong because the tips started to turn brown, and then some parts of the stems started to dry up. So when I arrived back home, I decided to put humidity dome on top of this plant, which is not something that is recommended. I have never seen anyone recommend humidity domes, especially for a string of pearls. But for some reason, it worked because I've kept it under this humidity dome for a couple of weeks now, and this plant is definitely bouncing back. I see a lot of new growth appearing. So far, so good. We will see how that goes. But first thing that we need to do is to repot all of these into proper potting soil because this potting soil is holding on to too much moisture. They need a proper cacti and succulents potting mix. So let's do this. Okay, so because string of hearts and string of pearls are succulents, I'm gonna be repotting them into terracotta pots. I find terracotta to be more suitable for cacti and succulents because they don't hold on to as much moisture as, for example, plastic pots. So I find them to be more suitable. So all of these pots have drainage holes at the bottom, and I'm gonna be using these hole pads at the bottom of each pot. They prevent soil from coming out of the pot. I absolutely love this. This is like my #1 plant accessory. I use them for indoor plants and for outdoor plants. Super cheap on Amazon. I will have them linked in the description if you're interested. And I'm going to be using Botanica Premium Cacti and Succulent Potting Mix. I discovered Botanica potting mixes quite recently, but I'm already like super amazed with their quality. I'm slowly transplanting all of my houseplants to Botanica. I find them to be the best quality potting mixes for houseplants that I have ever tried personally. They are packed with all of the good stuff for your plants, and they have blends designed for different plant groups or different plant families. If you are interested and you would like to check them out, which I highly recommend, you can use the code 17 square meters garden to get a discount on their website. Let's start with the string of hearts. I'm gonna be placing string of hearts in slightly larger pot because it grows really rapidly. Okay, now time for string of pearls. Even though they originally came in the same containers, this plant is way smaller than the string of hearts. Well, not being very gentle. Just gonna place it like this and bury the stem a bit. Hopefully it roots in and gives me some new plants. Okay, so these two are repotted into their new terracotta pots. I already love how they look in these terracotta containers. I'm gonna water all the plants at the end. Just thought I will mention this. I always water my plants after repotting. It's just that I water them all at the end. So now let's move to Monstera. Okay, next is Monstera adansonii variegata or variegata, however you want to pronounce it. Although this plant is on a mission for self-destruction, because as you can see, it produces all white leaves. And when the leaves are all white, there is no chlorophyll. If there is no chlorophyll, the plant cannot photosynthesize. And if plant cannot photosynthesize, it cannot live. So normally, I mean, this is not unusual. This can happen with variegated plants, and usually we will just cut back until the healthy looking leaf, so until variegated leaf. Here, on the other hand, the plant started to produce all white leaves from the very beginning. So I'm not sure if I cut it back, it will actually work and the plant will actually start to produce variegated leaves again. But we have to do it. We have to give it at least a try. So I'm gonna cut it right now, right at the base here. Maybe even slightly below here. This is really sad and I hate doing that, but unfortunately that's necessary. So I'm hoping that this will work, fingers crossed. So now let's repot it into this terracotta pot, into fresh potting soil, and let's hope that this plant will bounce back and start producing variegated leaves again. So as with all Saiba soil potting mixes, this Aroid mix is also based on coconut coir, but it also contains coconut husk chips and perlite for good aeration, and it has activated carbon to prevent any nasty stuff from developing in the soil, and it also includes worm castings and organic nutrients. So my Monstera is repotted. I'm gonna water it and I keep the potting mix moist. I let just the top layer of soil to dry out, and then I water again because Monsteras, especially variegated adansonii, likes a lot of moisture, and I also spray it to provide more humidity. But now, next plant that I want to repot, and I'm gonna be repotting it into the same potting mix, is this Hoya carrii variegata. So thanks to you guys, I learned that this plant is never gonna mature. It's gonna remain a single leaf. For some reason, I thought that Hoyas are more like succulents and that you can propagate them through leaf propagation. It turns out that you can only propagate Hoyas through stem cuttings. I did not know that. I've never grown Hoyas in my life. I've never been a huge fan of Hoyas. This is like literally the only Hoya that I have ever owned. But that's okay. I mean, even if this plant remains just one leaf, I think it still looks really cute. Okay, Hoya and Monstera are repotted. Now, last but not least, Alocasia. This is a variegated frydek, and I've also had a humidity dome above it. This plant really enjoys high humidity, and it's been doing really well the past couple of weeks. As you can see, it produced a new beautiful variegated leaf, and there's a new one coming. So far so good. I was a little bit stressed with this plant because it's been a while since I've grown Alocasias. I used to have a collection of Alocasias, and I think that was during COVID. I was traveling and then I couldn't come back home because everything was closed, the airports were closed, and when I finally came back home after 1 month, all of my Alocasias were dead and they did not resuscitate, they didn't come back. So I was a little bit upset with Alocasias and I felt like I didn't want to grow them ever again, but a few years have passed, I forgave them, and now I'm kind of regrowing my collection of Alocasias. So frydek is the first one. Let's remove this old soil. If you look close, you will notice that all of these potting mixes are slightly different. They contain different ingredients or different ratio of ingredients that is especially adapted for that specific plant or that specific group of plants. And here with this Alocasia potting mix, yet again it's based on coconut coir, then it has coconut husk chips, orchid bark, worm castings, vermiculite, organic nutrients. So all of those good stuff to support healthy growth and development of your Alocasia plants. Okay, so here they all are repotted into terracotta pots. Don't they look just so much better all being in the same containers? I don't know what it is, but terracotta always makes every plant look so much better. So now I'm gonna clean the table and I'm gonna bring in my 2 new plants that I want to show you. Okay, you guys, so here are my 2 new house plants. This one came in 1 week ago, so I already unboxed it, but this one came just today. So we are gonna discover together what's inside the box. But for now, I'm gonna put it on the side and just wanted to introduce you to this plant. So this is a rare Syngonium milk confetti. It's considered rare, but at the same time, it's not like super difficult to obtain it, and it's not a very, very expensive plant. So milk confetti is really beautiful. There's also Syngonium confetti, and the difference between the two is that milk confetti has a little bit more white, more milky leaves, Although this one looks pretty green at the moment, I'm thinking it didn't get enough sunlight and enough love and care, but I'm keeping it under grow light. I'm taking good care of it, and I already see some improvement, like the new leaves that start to unfurl have more of those typical pink speckles, and they are a little bit more whitish than green. So I'm super excited to grow this plant, and I'm gonna wait a little bit before repotting it. I like to wait a couple of weeks before I repot my new plants to give them time to acclimate, to adjust to new conditions before I stress them out by repotting them. Okay, so let's open this box. Inside there is a plant from my wish list, and honestly I thought that I'm never gonna see it because I purchased it on Etsy. For the first time I ordered the plant from Etsy, and they told me that they delivered it, but my package was nowhere to be found. So I waited 1 week, and I thought that like that's gone. I'm never gonna see this plant again. But all of a sudden the delivery guy appears out of nowhere, and he says that finally he has my package. So I'm super happy, but this plant has been traveling for a really long time, so I really hope that it's in good condition. Oh, this is crazy. Why are there 2 plants? Did I get something extra? Like, that would be amazing. Oh, there is another plant, you guys. No way. What? This is, oh, that's so cute. Look at this, I got a gift plant. I'm so excited. You guys, this is the cutest thing ever. Like, the grower included a plant care guide for the plant that I bought, and they gave me a gift plant. That is just the cutest thing ever. This is so sweet, honestly, very, very thoughtful. So, I'm not gonna keep you in suspense anymore. So, the plant that I ordered, oh, I'm gonna have a lot to clean with all of this packaging. Oh my goodness. So as I said, the plant has been traveling for a really long time, so we have some damaged leaves, but nonetheless so beautiful. So this is Epipremnum Snow Queen. Let me clean the table to show you this. I'm gonna clean it, give it a bit of a rinse, verify if there are no pests. But yeah, I'm super happy, and now I got a gift plant from the vendor, which is the sweetest thing ever. And they gifted me a teeny tiny Monstera adansonii, looking super sad, but I think it should be fine. I think we can bounce it back. So that's good, because now I have Monstera adansonii and Monstera adansonii variegata, so that's really cute. Okay, you guys, so here they all are, all of my new houseplants, and huge mess to clean in my living room. I have a really exciting project coming up for all of my houseplants that I cannot wait to share with you in the next videos. Please keep in mind that now I'm posting videos twice a week on Tuesday afternoons and Saturday mornings, so make sure that you're subscribed and you have the notification bell turned on so that you don't miss out each time I post a new video. Hope that you enjoyed this repotting session with me and seeing some of my new houseplants. Thanks so much for joining me, and we'll see each other in the next video. Bye!